James here, and this video is answering the big why. The big why questions that you all have about this spiritual awakening. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions directly from people that I'm friends with on Facebook groups and from making these videos on YouTube. And ask me any question you want, but I can't tell you the answers because I don't have the answers. I have something else. I'm not special. I'm just like you. The fundamental difference is I'm maybe at a more advanced level of understanding. I have quite a wide range of frequencies, so the information's coming through. That's all it is. There's no magic to it. Earlier today, I was listening to Kryon, who, for those of you who don't know, is an archangel who talks through a Canadian guy. His name I've forgotten off the top of my head. I'm not making notes, and that's deliberately so with this one because I'm just going to say it as it comes. Now, two questions I get asked a lot is, why am I not finding a partner? Or why is this happening to me? What is my purpose? What is my role in all this? I'm not getting this part, or I'm not getting this part coming, or that part coming through. Well, it's your perceptions, that's all. Like I say, I don't have the answers. But you have the answers, you just don't realise it. As Kryon says, we have three brains. You have what you know is the brain. As I've said in previous videos, you have another brain here in the heart. And then there's a third one, which is the pineal gland, which looks like a pine cone. You sort of ask yourself, why have they got one in the Vatican? And it's very interesting in itself. While we're on the subject of the Vatican, why have they got a telescope called Lucifer? You can do your research on that and draw your own conclusions. But I'm going to reiterate some of what Kryon says because it's very important and it's something you need to understand. The answers you're looking for, you have yourself. Why you're not getting these answers is, I would say, is because we can't unlock those answers purely on our own. It's by talking to each other that those answers come. I am seeing a huge wave of synchronicity. Today, the subject of this video, I'd already formulated in my mind, and then I had questions come to me which I'm hoping this video is going to answer for you. So there's an example of how this synchronicity is working. This, I suppose the saying, great minds think alike. The control system of this world will try and tell you that you're a nobody, you're insignificant. That is far from the truth. You're all very significant, you're all very important, you're all very loved. If you could see yourself in your true form, I'm not talking about this human body shell, but if you saw yourself in your true form, you are a being of light, you are infinity. Or as David Icke would say, you are infinite consciousness, you are everything that was, everything that is, and everything that will be. Now, even in the mainstream media, if you think of it like a 13-headed hydra, the different parts of itself, the dark side, are now starting to bite each other. They're starting to clamber over each other because they know their time is up. The whole system is designed for you to be in debt to get a mortgage. You don't just pay for your house, for the house that you're buying. You pay it 3 times over with the interest. It keeps you in debt. And then you have this continuous bombardment of telling you you don't look right, you need plastic surgery, you've got the wrong clothes, they're last year's fashion. What a load of rubbish. If you could just change your perception and see that you're all wonderful. You don't have to be a particular build. I mean, that's just the outer body shell. What is that telling you about the real person inside? If you're judging each other like that, what is it saying about you as well? This is not what it's about. But there is a consciousness shift happening as I do this video. It has already begun. This is a spiritual tsunami. See, we live in a world, take for example, there's a mat for placing a cup on. I can see it, I can touch it, it's right in front of me, therefore it is. But we're not dealing with that. We're dealing with an unseen realm that doesn't conform to that. But if you're going through any of this awakening, I think you'll realise by now, but there's an unseen energy that the 5 senses cannot detect. And the children that are being born, and this new and up and coming generation, they're going to change things. We can all change things if we change our perception. This is all what it's about. I mean, a lot of you that are going through this awakening are feeling isolated. You feel like you're the odd one out. Your family thinks you're crazy. But you're seeing that in a 3-dimensional way. You're not seeing it in the 5-dimensional way, because yes, your flesh and blood, human shell, biological family might be thinking you're absolutely crazy. But you'll find you're connecting with your soul family. You may not remember them from previous lives, but you're reaching the same conclusions as them. It can even get to the stage where you're almost typing word for word the same words to each other at the same time. This is how incredible this whole thing is. And the same with this video. I get asked questions. I'd already thought about making this video today. And then I got the questions, to which I was able to say, hold on, we'll address your questions. Now, relationships. Again, it's 3D thinking. I'm happy being on my own. Just stand back from all this pressure you're put under to where you've got to be with someone. I mean, yeah, it's nice to have the physical love, but there is another love. I've had so many well wishes from people on Facebook that I'm friends with that I've never met in person, that I feel loved, and it's wonderful. There's nothing, I can't even put this into words because language is inadequate. I'd even go so far as to say it's not our native tongue that we're speaking. We've lost a lot of abilities from when we were originally created. So we're seeing and acting in the way that this control system is telling us, which is real. But it isn't real. There's much more out there. I've spent today sorting out a new herb garden. And this is something I want to talk about, not about the actual gardening, but this is how we can make a real change, because don't worry about what's going on in the wider world that you cannot change individually. Change what you can change. I mean, I've been outside, it's been lovely weather today, hence why I'm dressed like this. And it's been very therapeutic. It's soothing to the soul. And I'm just going with intuition on it. I don't have any formal training in horticulture. Part of the fun of this is just saving seeds from grapefruits, lemons, butternut squash, planting them in pots in the greenhouse or whatever you happen to have. Get yourself a propagator if you haven't got the space or if you haven't got a garden. And just have a go, it's fun. You're creating something, and the vegetable or fruit that you will grow from that, you will see it in a different way because you will appreciate it because it is something you've done yourself. Another example is, why buy prawn cocktail sauce when you can make it yourself? It's ever so easy. You can make up the quantity you want. You don't have to buy a whole jar. You don't have the problems with packaging. And I can say, personally, the food that I'm buying for myself and my mother, we have zero waste because any vegetable matter is going on the compost. It's not going in the bin. It's being recycled, it's being turned into compost, which goes back on the garden. The compost that I've got here is all made from leaf mulch, which was created in the garden. And it goes back onto the garden, and so the cycle starts again. I've got no plastic waste to worry about. I get all my fruit and veg at the moment from a fruit and veg shop until I've got the production side underway. It takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and nor was the garden. But it's a huge saving on money. And I can have people, I can talk to people out there and try and get them to change. It doesn't work that way. You cannot force people to change it. They have to be open. They have to be at least curious. I mean, I've heard so many people moaning about they're in debt or they can't do this or can't do that. Well, start thinking out of the box. Look at it from a different way. Look at what you can change. I mean, I've got my life where I feel really contented now because I've eliminated as much of the stress as possible. I would be classed as the ultimate in a conspiracy theorist, and a lot of people would think I'm crazy. But I'm not paying out hundreds of pounds every year for a rail ticket. I'm not spending 2, possibly 4 hours every day commuting. And oh, let's not forget the car parking charges on top of that. And they're working maybe just 8 hours, but then you add that travelling time on, that's 12 hours of their day. And then you've got the getting up to go to work and then the getting home from the railway station as well to add on. So you're possibly looking at 15, 16 hour day. Now who's the crazy one? I'm not. It doesn't even matter what day of the week it is to me anymore. It means nothing. I didn't even realise it was a bank holiday Monday. It's like, it's just another day. But my concept of time is changing as well. Time is yesterday, today and tomorrow in a continuous cycle. Nothing matters. The calendar doesn't matter anymore. And it's opening up a whole new perspective to me, because this information is like a download that's coming into me, and for a lot of you out there as well. I helped a friend today by sending them healing because they had high blood pressure because of circumstances in their life, and I was pleased to say that they messaged back to me and they said it worked. So I feel good because I've helped them. I don't have to be near them. I'm not saying everybody's going to have these abilities, but don't worry about things like that because you're all valid. Just because it doesn't seem like you're doing anything right now, perhaps it's in the future that your role will come into its own. But if we start growing our own produce, we're not only saving money, we're undermining this financial corporation that is keeping us as debt slaves. There's a lot of talk about robots, automation and things. But think out of the box on that one. Do they have to be machines? What if they're humans who don't question anything, and just go to work, get up, go to work, do the same thing, go home. They spend half the time earning money to pay taxes and just to break even. Never mind money to spend on nice things, and a lot of these things that they're spending money on is just bits of plastic crap that you don't really need, but you're encouraged just to use your credit card to keep you in debt. I mean, isn't that crazy? I mean, my plan is I'm going to grow food here, and I'm going to find other local people, and I'm going to do an exchange barter system with them. There will be no finance, and they can't accuse me of being a business because there will be no financial transactions. But I can assure you from having an allotment before, if you grow your own food, it's not forced produced food. It has, even cauliflower, it has flavour to it. You taste a supermarket cauliflower and you compare it to one that you grow yourself. There is a big difference. I was quite amazed at the real flavour of cauliflower. Not only that, you are in control of it as well, because you can choose whether you want to put chemicals on your crops or whether you want to do it by nature. I harvest rainwater with water buds. Okay, there's maybe an issue with acid rain, but again, let's worry about the things we can change. Or let's not worry, let's sort out the things we can change. Don't worry about the bigger picture. I mean, this whole control system is about centralisation. I'll give you another example. I went to the local shops. The electronic card reader had gone down because there was a problem with the Wi-Fi or the internet connection. So people are like thrown into panic because they're now having to use a cash point machine. And I thought, yeah, that cash point machine is going to run out of actual physical cash before the day is out. And then what are people going to do? So it's a joke. It really is. We're dependent on this technology, and it's dependent on a centralised technology. Well, we start forming into little communities and start exchanging things and working out a barter system that is agreeable to both parties. There's no need for the price of things to go up. Okay, you might have some years where you might grow more potatoes, but the next year might not be so good, but it'll be compensated for by you might grow, I don't know, butternut squash or aubergines or whatever it happens to be. And somebody else may want those things. They've not had a successful year. An experiment. Don't bother about learning it from a gardening book. Just get out there and do it. Have a look on the internet. There's plenty of information out there. I mean, this is another paradox. I mean, why is it people are asking these questions when they've got a mobile phone in their hand where it's connected to the internet and they can find the answers out, and they're asking silly questions? It's like, what is wrong with people's thinking? Is it the fluoride in the water has dumbed down their brains? Just start thinking out of the box. And this spiritual world, as Kryon says, the answers aren't going to be given to you by spirit. The answers are going to come from us, with ourselves. We've got all the answers that we need. We just got to find the way to unlock them. And one of the ways is by talking and thinking out the box and making the change. Be proactive. We can make a difference. We can form into little groups. We don't have to have a centralisation of anything. In England, excuse me, but don't we grow apples here anymore? Why do they have to come from New Zealand? And let's face it, if you've got apples coming that far away, or whatever the crop happens to be, beans from Kenya, it's grown to make money at the expense of its flavour. And then you've got all the problems with the plastic and the packaging. What are you going to do with all that plastic if it's not biodegradable? And I even question the long-term effect of this biodegradable plastic. I'd rather go to a fruit and veg shop and have a paper bag. I can reuse those over and over. Because even paper bags, that's a cut down tree. You think how long it takes for a tree to grow. And we need trees for the oxygen. Without those, we're all sunk. So this is just thinking out the box, and I'm hoping this is going to inspire you to look at other things and do things your own way as well. Not do what somebody else tells you to do. It's as simple as that. And the same with relationships. This is simple magnetics. The energy that you send out will bring the same energy back. I'm getting so many people contacting me now that are resonating on the same frequency, and we are connecting. They are my soul family. It's a much bigger family than the physical biological family. So I wouldn't swap this for the world, you know. I mean, in the film The Matrix, there's a choice of the red or the blue pill. What they don't tell you with spiritual awakening, there is no blue pill. Once you start going down this road, you can't go back. You can't fit back into that 3D world. Your thinking changes so much. And we are coming up to a huge change this year in consciousness that is coming about because people are questioning things. They're thinking differently. But it's no good looking at things and understanding even part of the 5-dimensional reality, but applying it in a 3-dimensional way of looking at it, because it won't make sense. It's simple. It's really as simple as, do you see it as half full or half empty? I mean, this awakening often starts with or it seems to be a bad experience to your health. With me, it was chest pains. I'm thinking I'm having a heart attack. And there's been other things that have happened since then, that individually they would seem like bad experiences. But think of it this way. Those experiences are just that. They are experiences that are equipping you to cope with situations. It is empowering you with a spiritual armour. So don't look at it in the 3-dimensional linear sense. Look at it that it is giving you power. I don't mean power in the sense of you're going to make money, but even that, I mean, we can go two ways. You can be self-serving and you can try and benefit for yourself, or you can look at it on a grander scale of do things that is going to benefit everybody, because then everybody will benefit. It's as simple as that. So there's a few things to think about. So more videos will be coming soon. Thank you.